Last night was the series finale of One Tree Hill. I know that I'm sad to see it go, and there's a lot of other people who feel the same way. One Tree Hill had a lot of fans, and we got very attached to the show. It was something that we looked forward to, something that we did weekly, something that we kept up on and talked about when the show wasn't on and talked about when the show was on. It was something that we went out and bought on DVD or watched on the CW and caught up our friends on episodes that they missed. And I know that it's sad to see the show go, and I'm very sad to see the show go. But I am thankful that Mark Schwann decided to do the final episode the way that he did, and that he had interviews with the cast so that we could see that they care about the show just as much as we do, if not more. We got to watch it, but they lived it. And it was really beautiful the way that Mark Schwann hammered out the final episode, and especially this last season. He brought back Lucas, and I think every fan wanted to see Lucas come back. We wanted to see Peyton too, but that didn't happen. But at least we got to see Lucas. And we got to see Dan finally go out as something more than a villain. He went out as a great grandfather and a dad who died for his son, and someone who was heroic. We got to see Keith come back, and it was great to see Keith after all those years. We got to say goodbye to some characters that we did enjoy seeing in the show, but in real life and so on and so forth, they had a lot of things going on, like Jana Kramer, who is doing a lot of music, and Kate Vogel, and so on and so forth, that we got introduced to them in the show, or we knew about them before, but the show brought them more so to the forefront of our minds. And it was just really great to see how One Tree Hill managed to throw a little bit of everything at us, from quotes in literature and poems to awesome bands and artists that we might not have known about if not for the show. I really loved the fact that people like Gavin DeGraw were made really famous as partially as a result of the show. From the theme song and then appearances on the show, and his more than anyone being Haley and Nathan's wedding song, and so on and so forth. But it also made people who didn't appear famous, like when Brooke was driving in her car and she was talking about how she likes to wind down and listen to Sunday Lane. And a lot of us didn't know who that was, but because of the show now, we do. And I really appreciate that One Tree Hill left us things that will remind us. We don't just have it on DVD and have posters and things up, but you can listen to a song and it'll take you back to when one of the characters mentioned it, or what was happening in the show when that song was played. So I thank Mark Schwann for doing such a fantastic job. Everything that we wanted to see from the beginning, and especially after the show started to shift into adulthood, we wanted to see Mouth and Millie get married. We wanted to see them have a kid, and we got to see them married and pregnant in the finale. We wanted Clay and Quinn to finally get married, and then after Clay discovered that he had a son, we wanted them to be a family, and we got to see that as well. We've been hoping that Brooke would have a kid, especially after she had Sam, that she had in and out for a little while, and then Sam went to go be with her mom, and she had tried to adopt the baby, and it just, so many things happened that caused problems, and it didn't work out for her. And then she found out she couldn't have kids. But at the end of the day, she did. She had twins. We finally got to see her make up with her family and then be the parents that she always wanted. She even got to go back and live in the house that she had so many problems in, to make a new story for that house and to have a better life and what she'd always wanted behind the red door. We saw Nathan and Haley go through almost every horror imaginable, from car crashes, being hit by cars, being kidnapped, your kid's kidnapped, your dad's this killer. I mean, everything they threw at us. And they prevailed, and Jamie grew up to be just like his dad and his uncle, and his grandfather, an amazing basketball player. So I'm thankful that Mark Schwann allowed us to see those things that we wanted. And for the diehard fans who even remember back to the fourth season where Skevin was a major thing, we got to see Bevan come back, and her and Skills ended up together, and I know a lot of people didn't see that coming. So thank you, Mark Schwann, for giving us something to look forward to every week, for making a show that is going to be part of our memories probably for the rest of our lives. And thank you to all the cast for putting your all into it and taking the time out to make something that meant something to us. Thank you, and goodbye, One Tree Hill.